Hi, so this is me just winding down from a very long day. I've been doing sessions. Um, I did South Africa today, Geneva, Austria, someone in England. It's been like a very long day. And I have something on my heart which I feel like I want to share because it's the same with like everyone I'm working with and for myself and for my friends and just people like seeing people argue or seeing people beat themselves up and seeing people, basically everyone wants love. Everyone is just trying to get their basic needs of feeling like they belong here, or feeling a sense of wellness in themselves. And everything they do, everything we do to protect ourselves from the time when we didn't get love from ever happening again, is we're pushing love away more. So I didn't actually plan anything to say. I just feel like I had to come on and speak about how we all look for love and how we have different tactics and different ways of trying to find or create essentially love in our body. But we use it in terms that we do it with defense, or excessive attachment or obsession or control, because there was a moment in time when we were little, maybe, or at some point in our development as a human, where we didn't get the love we need, or that we felt we needed. Maybe we were getting love, but not the kind we understood. Or maybe not, maybe our caregivers or our partner was trying to show us love, but from a place of hurt in themselves. So in that way, I think it's just that we're all small little babies and small little children, and we're all just trying to get those basic needs of belonging and feeling met and survival. We're just trying to create that again, but we've created so many layers of trauma or pain or survival or defense or fight, flight and freeze, that our nervous systems are geared to protecting ourselves from getting hurt again or not having our needs met again. So we do all this really complicated, strange stuff. Like we beat ourselves up over and over again. I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. I'll never be nourished the way I need to be. People are bad. Can't be trusted. I can't be trusted. And all of those mechanisms and all of those behaviors are just basically a small little person wanting to be met and wanting to be loved. So this happens to me as well. I also have all sorts of patterns and behaviors and needs, and then things don't go the way I want, or I don't get what I want, I don't get that need met. And so then we loop into programs like, oh, people are always that way, or oh, I'm not lucky, or all that stuff. And actually there is just this spark, this life force, and this amazing body that's just looking for love. Hi, Neil. Hello, everyone watching. I don't know if I'm even making sense, because I've done like 9 hours of sessions today, and I've done that for about 2 weeks, at least, and I don't mind doing that kind of work. But the themes are always the same. Where can you pour the love in? Where can you meet yourself? Where can you find that what I call pockets of consciousness, where you're still 5, where you're still 17, where you're still 21, where a shock or a hurt or some kind of emotional turmoil happened, and then your body's like frozen in that time and that space, reliving that over and over and over again. And that's the work I'm doing with people, is we're going in and retrieving that memory or that that moment in time where time stood still and you fell to your knees, or you felt like you were cracking open, or you felt like the world was swallowing you up. We're going back to that moment, and we're letting the body know that right now that isn't happening anymore. That there's just a part of you, a memory looping, a program looping. And in that moment in time, your body did everything it possibly could to ensure your survival. It protected you, it froze, it made you run, it made you flop to the floor, it made you hide in a corner, it made you shut down and go, I'm never going to do that ever again. Or I'm never going to let someone near me again. Or if I'm ever visible again, that means I put myself out there and this is what happens, and I'm never going to put myself out there again. All that kind of stuff. We're made up of so many of these little fractured pieces, and all they want, all those little pockets of your consciousness, all they want is love. Love from you, love from another, doesn't matter. It's just one element. It's just one energy, and it's simple. It feels awful to live with that program running again, but it also feels awful to go get it sometimes, because you think, oh my God, we're repeating history, or it's going to hurt more again, and I never want to hurt again. But actually, you're carrying that hurt for the rest of your life, for 20 years, for 30 years, 40 years. And there's no need anymore. We are smart enough. We have the tools to actually go in and find and retrieve and love all those pieces. And there's a choice to say, I don't want to suffer like that anymore. My hand's shaking. I feel amazing. I feel alive, I feel whole, I feel loved. And mostly by me. I feel loved by my being. And the more love I can bring into myself and bring back all these pieces of me, the more I'm able to see the pattern in others, or to love others, or more open to receiving love, because I'm taking those defenses and that armor, and I'm not hiding. I'm not perfect. I'm processing all the time, and I've also made a choice that I don't want to process all the time. That suffering ends. Suffering ends right here for me, and I say that to myself all the time. Like, I feel an old pattern come, and I know what to do now, or I go and see someone that can help me. All we want is to come home and to feel wellness, and to inhabit our bodies with a sense of grounding, of like, I belong here, I'm allowed to be here, I'm allowed to take space. I don't have to worry about, am I taking too much space, or should I be small? I just came back from the sauna and the swimming pool, because I did so many hours of energy work that I just needed to kind of let go, exercise. And I was just watching people, and small things, like one woman, someone said, oh, you can go past, but she wouldn't. She was like, oh, no, you go, and there was just, I could just see there was a little part of her, a small part of her, that's maybe a child part of her, that will never put herself in front of someone else, because maybe that's dangerous to her system. Her system thinks that's dangerous. It was just like a small little moment. And then there was the other person that, was hiding himself because he's ashamed of his body or something. You could just see he was very self-conscious. Or there's the person that won't make eye contact. You see it. You can sit in a cafe and watch people, and you can just pick up. It's so easy to see how fragile we are and how vulnerable we make ourselves. And my wish is that we didn't shrink and didn't hide and didn't deny ourselves what we're looking for because of our nervous system thinking that it's protecting us. Like that moment that you shrank when you were 7 because something happened, that isn't actually happening right now. And maybe that defense mechanism or that survival mechanism is past its sell-by date. So that's been coming up a lot in sessions with people, is immune system, immune response, and nervous system in combination. So there's always themes when you do this sort of work. Like this week, we're mostly looking at, and people come with the same thing, and this immune system, immune response, nervous system all being switched off or triggered. To me, it's like your ability to perceive a threat, like, so the threat level is like here, but your body thinks it's like way up there. And it could be even low level threat mode for years in your system, which can lead to anxiety or depression or poor communication with people, like lots of misunderstandings, feeling burnt out. There's another theme that I've been looking at, is this compassion fatigue. So people that do the kind of work I do, or like chiropractors or massage therapists, or people that are therapists, or the people that work in social work or with trauma or alcoholics or whatever, is that you give and give compassion and understanding, but eventually there's something in your system that is definitely picking up on all the stuff that people are living with day by day, and then you develop some sort of low level threat or fear in the system, because your resilience is like wearing down. So it's really important to have good practice with yourself, to pour the love back into yourself, to notice when your system is doing that, to let the body know that you've left work and the threat isn't happening anymore. You know, like all this stuff, the body is much slower than the consciousness and the mind. I read something, got distracted. I'm knackered. What else was I gonna say? I just think that no matter how bad you think things have got, and how little value you have, or how little worth you have for yourself, or how you think you're gonna die alone because you're unlovable, all this stuff is programs and beliefs and words that are registered in your system, whether it's in your energy field, your mind, your nervous system, and all we can communicate with the body and let it know, actually, that's not true. That isn't a universal truth about you, that there is a heart and a love and a capacity and a potential within you that can be awakened, that can be freed, and that can shine, no matter how messed up you think you are. And I know, because I came back from the brink of destroying myself. And it's been a work of love. There's been tears, there's been shaking, there's been retrieving, going on journeys to retrieve parts of myself. And you do need to like go, I'm getting that back. And it's all possible and doable. And it just starts with deciding, I'm going to love myself. I'm going to love the shamed bits, the grieving bits, the lost bits, the scared bits. I'm going to love them. And the moment you start loving them, they start to come back. So you're like this giant puzzle or this broken glass, and it's slowly coalescing back to a center, back to a wholeness, back to a true self. Back to realizing that you can actually build a sense of home and nurturing and belonging in your body. Your sense of belonging or tribe or home or love isn't in another person. And that's very easy to do. It's like, oh, I can't meet my own needs. I never get them met. Meeting someone amazing or a friend or some person and then calling them home. And then you feel so good next to them. You're like, oh, it must be coming from them. Well, no, all of that has been triggered within you. They maybe are reflecting it back to you or bringing it out of you, but it's all coming from within you. So another key is actually fostering and training your body and your mind and your heart to feel all those things, all that magic inside you. Someone is saying, I'm just going to read what people have said, actually. Sarah, you make sense. Very human. Thank you. I'm looking forward to getting started. Yeah, Maiken is doing I've been calling them breakthrough kinesiology packages, but actually I've changed the name and I'm very excited. It's called Love Evolve Align Packages, which spells leap. So that's what I'm calling it. And it feels very good to call it that. Love starts with love, evolve, believe that you can grow and change and become something you're proud of, or that you love, and align your true self to what you want to be doing in the world and what you want to create in the world. Monica, I imagine, is saying, oh my God, this is exactly what I'm experiencing. What practices would you recommend for doing at home? Well, my journey started, first I was like reading loads of consciousness stuff, and like, like I made Facebook into like a university of interesting things, of really like looking, how does energy work, how does spirit work, how does consciousness work? And I think often when you start in that world, you're kind of you even get into like people's channeled messages, but I don't listen or watch any of that stuff anymore, because I believe in getting the answers from inside you and listening to your body. But the first thing I did that was massive was a full-on life review. And basically it all started with I had like a hobby, or like my favorite reading material for a long time was life after death kind of books. People that have almost died, or, near-death experiences, that kind of thing. And I understood on some level there was a cross between not many different sources, that there's this kind of feeling, or this flashing, in front of you of all your life, in like images or series. And I just decided to do a full-on life review now rather than when I die. And it was, where do I need to grow? Where did I do something that I'm not proud of? Because that sits and festers in your system. When did I speak not out of love? When did someone hurt me? How did I react? Can I forgive them? Where is that in my body? That pain or that tension, that memory. You can find your memories in your body. Like if you bring up the memory, something painful, something difficult, you'll feel something in your body if you wait long enough, or really build the images up of that thing that happened, and then find it in the body, and then talk to the body and ask it, what does it need to release that? And I happen to feel, like images, like, oh, there's a sword there, or is like a hot fire there, or, I've built over a long time a story and a myth and a dialogue with my consciousness and my body that speaks to me in image or in flashes of color or understanding and signs. And so over time I've built like this whole landscape and this very visual conversation with myself, so that I can ask my body, what is this? What does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it need? And it always comes back to pouring the love back in. So when you find that thing that you're either not proud of, or that was done to you, or that there's blame or anger, resentment, guilt, shame, all those like lower vibration emotions, try and find a way to move higher and above, or always to put the love back in. Always, basically that's the answer to everything, is find the hurt bits and pour love in. It doesn't matter if you hurt them or if someone else hurt them. It's just a part of you wanting and seeking and waiting for that love. And when it explodes through your being and that old pattern, it lets go, it's just such a relief and lightness. And it is like a never-ending onion layer thing, like now stuff that's coming up with me is like really minute reflexes that were, built in when I was a baby or something. But over the last few years, I might have gone into more recent events or ancestral imprinting, or like deeper, I go now, it's like deeper and deeper to just being like a small baby, like before even knowing what anything's happening. And it's got nothing to do necessarily with my parents or caregivers or anything. It's just like experiences of a baby don't necessarily make sense to an adult. Anyway, I digress. I'm just saying that from home, you can at least start with kind of daily journaling and just catching what are the thought patterns going around in your head. That there's another thing I did. This is me before aura transformation, before training anything. And I used to do something called snapshot journaling, where you basically surprise yourself. So you could put an alarm, or just as soon as you see your mind going into unconscious thoughts flying around, write down what the thought processes are, because often you're like, what am I doing? This is ridiculous. And you can start kind of identifying a bit more about your unconscious and subconscious material. Other stuff you can do at home, I recommend the Joe Dispenza stuff, because that's pretty much anybody can, it's not particularly woo-woo spiritual stuff, and it's pretty practical and scientific. Like, this is why we're doing this. It's scientifically proven that this will create more coherence in your brain, or open your heart, or more vitality in the body. You could also watch all of my videos, Monica. I've got like 50 odd. I've got a YouTube, all my live videos off Facebook go onto my YouTube channel. So either way, you can find loads of videos. I posted one the other day that was like from a year ago called Energy Entanglement. That's probably very helpful in terms of taking responsibility for your energy. So a lot of the time our minds are flying around, like tangling up with other people's energy, thinking about other people, thinking about what they said the other day, thinking about, worrying about something over there, or obsessing about someone or something. So all your energy is just pouring out. So that video is kind of like the basics of pulling that energy in, sending energy away that isn't yours, so that you're kind of putting things to rest. You're finding closure. At the end of the day, you're claiming responsibility. You're keeping your energy to yourself, in that it fills your cup and isn't just being thrown around. So there's loads you can do at home. There's so much. I hope that helps a bit. Maiken says, today I felt I had to keep my focus in myself and nurture my own energy, rather than connecting with the distressed energy in people outside of myself, because it made me stressed. Exactly. That's exactly what I was just saying about pulling your energy away. Like, I could hear people fighting earlier, and for me, it doesn't make me feel stressed or upset. It might have once, triggered shock or old traumas of having arguments myself or something. Like, I imagine that's kind of what my nervous system being in that constant trigger response would have felt stressed by it, or distressed or something. But now I just had compassion that I could feel that the people arguing are it's the lost children part of themselves that are both wanting or feeling like their needs are not being met, and they're speaking different languages to each other that aren't meeting in the middle. So it's like born of misunderstanding and pain, rather than whatever they were doing, fighting with each other. Monica says, thank you, I'm running to those videos after you've done here. Yeah, I think I'm pretty much done. I think I just really wanted to have one of those candid moments with people that are feeling crap about themselves or beating themselves up. That a lot of it is your body having registered a shock or trauma or pain, or a feeling of not having your needs met at some point. And there are ways, and you can try to do it on your own, or work with someone that can help you, to let the body know that that isn't happening anymore. That the program stops now. And often it's the body that just needs reminding, because it's the body's recording all that stuff. The body's like kind of like an old dinosaur, like it's sort of a few years back, the body. Your mind and consciousness is like, I'm sure I dealt with that, and all that kind of thing. And like, I'm not going to worry about this sort of thing. But unconsciously and subconsciously, there's a part of your consciousness registered somewhere in the body saying, there's still a danger, there's still a threat, you're not going to get your needs met, all that kind of stuff. So I have so much compassion for everyone. I believe that everyone can take steps towards making those choices that mean they don't have to live in suffering anymore. And I feel like living proof that you can turn it all around. Yeah, that's it, I think. Maiken says, yeah, it's a trigger response I'm intending to release. Yep. And I'm sure you will. And I'll help you. And Maiken says, how do we go to your YouTube channel? So I think you just search Sarah Jennings Dare to Be on YouTube. I'm pretty sure my channel comes up. And otherwise you can go to my wall on Facebook. It's all the same ones. On my wall on Facebook, and underneath the cover photo it says more, or you go to photos, albums, videos, and then there's all my videos. And most of them do have a description, so you can kind of check what you're looking to look at. Cara, hey, she's in Australia. Thanks, lovely. Great to wake up to this here in Australia. Constant reminders. Good. Catherine, interesting 24 hours. Yep. I hope you're flowing with the shifts and changes. Basically, the best advice I can give when everything feels a bit like, what's happening, when you're having all this transformational change, is to not fix to any highs or any lows. Don't get attached to when you feel amazing and be like, yeah, this is it. It's going to be like this all the time. And then don't get attached to the feeling of like, oh my God, I feel like crap because everything's coming up. It's coming up because it wants to get out. And that's the goal, even if it does feel a bit rubbish on the way out. But just don't get attached to the up or the down, and just be like, well, I'm sometimes up and I'm sometimes down, and it's going to change quite a lot in the next few months. And that's kind of like just to flow with roll with it, really. Basically, your body is looking for balance, and it's looking for the true you, the sense of self that feels well. That's what's trying to happen, and your system is working overtime to get you there. I think that's it. I'm going to try go to bed. And may I share this on my wall? Please, anyone share it. Yeah, definitely. Definitely share it. I'll probably write a little description tonight or tomorrow about what it is. But yeah, very welcome to share any of my stuff. Thank you. Oh yeah, and if you do go to my YouTube channel, please press subscribe. It's a very empty channel because it's just my Facebook lives. I just put them there because Facebook has deleted some of my videos before, so I've started putting them there for safety. That's it. Good night. So much love. Just pour the love in. Find where you're not getting it, and pour it in. I always imagine like a big watering can of love, cosmic love or something, that I pour into all the cracks. You know, there's like that lovely Japanese meme of that. There's like a Japanese bowl, when it cracks, they fill the cracks with gold. It's kind of like that. That's what we're doing. Good night, everyone. Or good day to the Australians.